Welcome back. Cycling's
probably more used to these conditions. Now this man is a rider you know very well, Brian, the Russian.
Vyacheslav Ekimov. He is the best, and I don't believe you get any argument out of it, the best amateur cyclist in the world. He holds world records for the 1 hour. That's an important one. He also holds world records at 4 kilometers, 10, 20 kilometers, virtually everything. From the Soviet Union, he anchored their gold medal winning team pursuit squad in the 4K on the track in Seoul. This man is a genuine champion. Pro, amateur, doesn't matter. He's a winner.
Let's explain a little bit where his victories come from. He is excellent at going out there and riding alone and setting a very high pace for himself and maintaining it, which is exactly what you need to do in a prologue.
And on a short distance, he's a short distance specialist, primarily off the track, velodrome type racing in the Olympics, not on the road courses, 100 miles or better, but in short distance. He's admitted that he's using this event as conditioning. He wants to break his own hour record again this year, put it out of reach.
You can see the raindrops on our camera lens. The conditions undoubtedly affected by Mother Nature at this point.
Vyacheslav Ekimov, to look at him off his bike, you wouldn't believe what a tremendous athlete he is. As he comes across the finish line, he's made a great effort. The important thing is that they are really tender footing around the turn. So his time at 4:44 again, 10 seconds behind Thomas Craven, who never accomplished gold medals as an amateur, but stands atop our results here in the prologue.
From the turn of the century days when horse-drawn produce wagons would frequently careen out of control and tip over on the steep, twisting roadway, sending fruits and vegetables plummeting down the mountain. On this day for the cyclists, however, there were other problems.
As if an extreme hill weren't enough to confront these racers, Mother Nature has added another dimension. After her severe storm of yesterday, a flash flood and a landslide has gone across this very narrow, rugged road and closed it to a gap at a width of about 15 feet. Not only that, there is no shoulder here, and on the other side, a fall-off of almost 20 feet. This is extremely dangerous.
After 51 miles of racing, the Devil's Kitchen is the first severe test. The steep grade and pockmarked pavement are a cyclist's nightmare and will quickly determine who might realize any dreams of victory. The first to reach for glory is Holland's Gert-Jan Tenisse, who quickly establishes a solo lead. Though his homeland Holland is flat, Tenisse is known as one of the world's best climbers and a tenacious stage racer. In the 1988 Tour de France, he chipped an elbow, but stayed in the race to finish 11th. For his pursuers, the uphill pace is as rough as the road itself, and in places, the hazards are hidden beneath currents of water that almost reach the pedals. But Tenisse rides as if the obstacles don't exist and motivates an unlikely duo to chase him. It's an East-West combine, Andy Hampsten, who built his career on mountain climbing prowess, and Soviet Vyacheslav Ekimov, who holds 10 world records on the polished and flat surfaces of velodrome tracks. Sleek as a greyhound, Tenisse finds himself in the curious role as the rabbit. Out of the saddle, he tries to stay away, but he is quickly joined by Hampsten and Ekimov. Working together, the Tour de Trump is led by an international trio, a Soviet, an American, and a Dutchman. And in this breakaway, Ekimov, the Soviet, sends a clear message. Though he is an amateur and only 22, he will not be intimidated by seasoned pros like Hampsten and Tenisse. Below them, on the climb, the other favorites in this race realize it's time to organize another chase. Greg LeMond and his teammate Alexei Grewal know they must close a widening gap. LeMond is the master of American stage racing. He has never placed below third. But the leaders, with Hampsten in front, work in perfect harmony, changing the lead every 15 seconds to stay away. Now the chase is getting frantic. counterattacking group, Dutchman Eric van der Arden, a champion on the cobbled roads of Europe, rises to the challenge. Up ahead, the trio is joined by a pair of Colombians, both famed climbers, and their added muscle powers the breakaway to an even bigger lead. Now Lamont, fearful of losing the battle, commands his troops in a furious forced march of the Coors Light team. Regardless of the threat from the rear, Hampton grabs another meal in the feed zone. This is eating on the run, but with almost 30 miles to go, a refueling is essential. In the chase, Greg LeMond rides to escape his unfamiliar plight. America's most accomplished racer is accustomed to being out in front, with the others chasing him, not riding in the chase himself. But the pack performs and steadily closes on the breakaway.
The front five was not able to stay away. At mile 82, the rest of the pack has finally closed, and now it is one peloton with about 30 miles to go.
As a pack of 112 riders closes in on New Paltz, the race begins again.
5 miles from the finish line, the Soviet Ekimov and the Dutchman Tunisia have broken away once again with a pair of Colombians, Renel Montoya and Alvaro Mejia, in tow. The time for major strategy is long gone. Now it becomes simply a game of pursuit of cat and mouse among 4 men, knowing that the finish line looms shortly, and knowing that the prestige of leading this country's richest ever cycling event is on the line. Tunisia, who has initiated every major break, has worked too hard to allow victory to escape now. But instead, it is Mejia, the most promising cyclist to come out of Colombia since Luis Herrera, who forces the attack. Ekimov stalks him, only 2 lengths behind, followed by Montoya, a super climber who has survived onto the flats. And now, to the cheers of thousands, after 4.5 hours and 110 miles, it becomes a race to the finish. But Ekimov, the Olympic gold medalist in pursuit, has played a wily game, and he pounces at the perfect moment. In an all-out sprint to the finish line, the man in the red jersey has the upraised right arm of victory. Viacheslav Ekimov, the finest amateur cyclist in the world, has won the opening road stage of the Tour de Trump. An astounding upset. Heading the second group, the Dutchman, Steven Rooks, 21 seconds behind the leading foursome.
I don't know a lot of Russian, but I do know the word "хорошо," which means good. And with a victory today, you were more than good. You must be very happy.
Yes, I'm very happy today. Tomorrow will be hot, I think.
So an amateur has made his mark in the first stage of the Tour de Trump. Tunis, Montoya, Mejia next in line. Hampton leading the American contingent 41 seconds back. LeMond down the line at 1:32 off the pace. The overall standings, Ekimov now the leader by 8 seconds over Tunis. A near perfect day for the surprising amateur from the Soviet Union. He climbed when necessary, he attacked, he was patient, and in the end he outsprinted his Dutch rival for the leader's jersey in the Tour de Trump.